Welcome to another conversation off the clock. Hi, I'm Karmina Constantino Torres, and this is Casey After Hours. My Lola, Letizia Roxas Constantino. She and I had a bond like no other, as she did with my siblings and my cousins. Such was her gift. Ganun po kasi talaga siya. Whenever she'd write you a letter, pag binuksan niyo na po yung envelope, pakiramdam mo, ikaw lang at siya, ang mga taong nasa mundo. She had this gift of making you feel like you're the single most important person in the world. And we wanted to show the people, the public, the kind of letters that she wrote. What were they all about? The kind of issues that mattered to her. So much so that she had to put pen to paper to make the other person know, and at many times the public know, about the issues at hand. Alam niyo po, dapat nung 2020 pa ito mangyayari. But the pandemic struck. And so we didn't have time to mount this exhibit. But here we are, 5 years later. Welcome to Letizia, A Life in Letters. Meron akong policy na I never interview any of my relatives. Pero mahirap naman na hindi ko yun gawin given that we're doing an exhibit on our Lola's life. So joining me now is my favorite brother, Managing Director of the Constantino Foundation, Red Constantino. Hello, brother.
Hello, sister.
Okay, so first of all, I want you to tell our viewers the reason behind the exhibit. Why did we think of putting up such an exhibit on the life of Dadaming?
We're marking the 105th birth anniversary of Letizia Roxas Constantino. But this was originally planned 5 years ago for her centennial. We already did the centennial for Renato Constantino in 2019.
Yeah.
And the plan was to do her centennial 2020, but then the pandemic. And so we ran into two disruptions. We collected as much as we can with among our siblings, our parents, our cousins, no? And then the pandemic came in, lockdown, and a lot of things had to be moved around again, and we lost some things again. And so in this exhibit, you see a fraction, a tiny fraction of what we gathered and chose from, which is also a tiny fraction of what's actually still out there in boxes, unorganized. And if you go through this exhibit, you see a remarkable woman that is pretty astounding because it's actually just a small part of what we've managed to put together. And it's the past of a person whose life was dedicated with her husband to show why history truly, really matters.
How difficult or how easy was it to go through all the materials to come up with this?
Two emotions have always been constant. Even now, as we see the work of and your work here, it's always two emotions. One is joy throughout because it was a constant experience of discovery. Halungkat ka ng halungkat, lagi kami nakikitang bago, and it's always surprising, and it's always, it triggers happiness, no? But also incredibly difficult. Not only because of the volumes and volumes of manuscripts, notes, letters, artifacts that she just squirreled away, put together, and kept and filed and recorded, but also because it spoke of a time that she and Renato had lived in, put all of their lives in, as a reminder of the mission that not just our family, no, many other Filipinos, countless Filipinos, have yet to fulfill. Ito ang buhay ni Dadaming to us, Letty to friends and family, Letizia to the public. If there's one thing that I hope the viewers of this exhibit will take home, it's that it is possible to live lives of enjoyment and happiness that is also lived in pursuit of something larger. Bayan, mamamayan, taong bayan, kalayaan, freedom from dispossession, but also freedom to live prosperous lives.
And so with us now is the fabulous David. This would not have happened without your vision. Before we talk about the process, kami kilala ka na namin, but to our viewers, how would you describe what you do?
Okay, I started in the theater. I started as a props man with Dulang UP for Dulang UP. So after that, Tony Mabesa and then Don Juan, they taught me and had me as a set designer for their shows, and it just happened. In fact, I started as an actor, and I don't know, by some twist of fate, the two of them wanted me to design props, wanted me to design their sets, and I fell in love with that.
Okay, so when the call came, first it was a text. First it was a text. I introduced myself and I texted you and I said, ganyan, mahirap kasi i-explain, di ba, kung nung una. Ngayon kasi buong-buo na yung exhibit natin. But nung una, nung sinabi sa'yo na we want to do an exhibit on the letters that she wrote and the letters that she received.
Well, the first thing I asked was, when is this? When will this be? And when you told me, a month and a half. What? Oh my God! Wait, I'm doing so many things. I have a show. I have this pageant. I have a fashion show. So, and then I'm ready. Sabi ko, okay. Let's talk, right? Let's talk. And then we called each other. And upon initial meeting, when I went here, when I got here the first time, I saw the multitude of things that you wanted to do. The letters, the pictures, and all that. And because I don't have that yet, personal relationship with Letizia, it was, I think, in a way, it was much easier for me to tell you, my clients, that, okay, let's choose 5, let's choose 10, let's choose, okay? Because if I just let you, I just, and not put any control, and then this would be an impossible task. Because we have thousands and thousands of letters, books, pictures, oh my, it's a treasure. I know it was hard.
Super hard.
I know it was hard. We need 15 to 20 letters that at least gets who she is. That when the audience, steps in and go and, leave, that's Letizia.
Diba?
This was her life.
Yeah. And it also was very important to us not to use the lens of the grandchild, of the grandchildren, diba? Because she was more than just that, right? So we wanted to show the world what a complete woman she was. The whole vision of this is what? What can people expect once they enter the door?
Get glimpses, not just of her life, but of all the little things that she does for herself, for her family, and definitely for the country. Reading through her stuff as an outsider, I suddenly felt after a week of reading that I was part of the family.
Yes.
Yeah, and not because of how you talk to me or how your mom talks to me. No, through her letters, it was so vivid. All the things that she sees, that she writes about, and it gives you that sense of good familiarity with everything that she does. Suddenly, I wanted to work on plants, on bonsai, or you know.
learn
And
drawing
suddenly
plants.
I want to play again the piano because I do
Yes.
play the piano.
Right.
And there's that sense of she puts that sense of importance to everything that she does, not haphazardly.
Yeah.
She puts her whole heart.
And when you guys would walk through the exhibit, you will see that she could have chosen not to do all of these things, and yet she did. And we're all the more better for it, I guess. After the last person has left, what do you want them to take away from the exhibit? How do you think this will impact their lives?
Through her, you see the plight, not just of her, the plight of the Filipino. It's all in her writings. I want the last person going out to feel that sense of nationalism, maybe love of country, love of her fellow men, fellow women.
And sana lang din, like, when we talk about letters, right? Rarely do you find people now who would write letters, even just that. If people can go back to writing again and expressing their thoughts, not on their phones,
Yeah.
but the process of putting pen to paper and thinking first before you write it down.
I agree. Her letters are for everyone, and yet it's very intimate.
Yeah. And that's it for another episode of KC After Hours. You know the drill. Like and subscribe. I'll see you on the next one. Hey Constance, I think it's time. Marami na sa inyo nagsasabi na magkita-kita tayo, and I think I have the perfect venue. Why don't we all take in the exhibit, Letizia, A Life in Letters? Just one afternoon. Tayo-tayo lang. Stay tuned to our Instagram stories for the mechanics.